So generally, the perception that youngsters have is that when they're going to a destination country, they also sort of like try to look for employment opportunities there and to, live there forever. Uh, and what do you think? Like, even if you have to, if you have to come back to Pakistan, and if you have to like embed back in the society and work here, what value can you bring if you have that exposure of working in France for a Pakistani student in particular?
Okay, so I think it is connected to the question of why do you go abroad?
Yeah.
And I think you should not go to escape.
Yeah.
You need to understand what is your inner values that you want to question when you go abroad, and why is a real reason. Because happiness is not, you can find it everywhere. So perhaps you won't be more happy working in France or in Europe or in any other countries than in Pakistan. So first go explore and see what you will learn from the other countries. And after that, it must be your choice. You can have a very good life if you come back, You will have the opportunity during your courses and your degree in France to have these 6 months to test what is the working system in France, what is being not inside the university but in the society to work. You have also the possibility to stay for 1 year with a working visa. And after that, you can take that knowledge back to your country and you can give back a lot. Just 2 weeks ago, we were organizing alumni events.
Right.
So we had it in 3 cities, and we did it this year in cooperation with my colleague from the economical department. So we invited some French companies to come alongside with the alumni to panel discussion to discuss that.
Yeah.
So what does this international exposure can bring to your career? Why should companies, multinational companies, international companies, should be French or any other country, what they can have as an asset with hiring you? And the discussion was actually really interesting, because what the alumni were pointing out is that this mobility abroad changed them.
Right.
They were, more willing to push the line, to say, okay, I trust myself enough to say that there could be this possibility. I learned these skills. Of course, I cannot put it exactly the same way in my culture here, but we can adapt it to the local issues, because nowadays what we want is to have global minds, able to think with the global issues, but adapted to the local problematics. And this international exposure will help you back here to make the difference and to try. Whereas you will be working in a university, educate the youngest, working in a company to develop the country, should it be from a more technical engineering point of view or more economical point of view, or working perhaps in the government. This will be something that will add, it will be an added value. Yeah. It won't change everything, but it can change small things. And small and small and small, again at the end, it makes something bigger.
Right.
And you always have to make the balance between, there was this French philosopher called Henri Bergson from the early 20th century who said you have to act like a man of thought and think as a man of action. So when you get your knowledge, you need to make sure that it will be able to implement your knowledge. But when also you do something, you need to make sure that you think of what does it mean instead of choices of society. And going back to Pakistan, it's not that you have to, it's that you want to. Because what you will have learned and lived can make a difference, not only here, but in the world. Because every countries are connected nowadays and have always been. Because, when you study all the history of how human species develop inside our planet, you cannot believe that countries really exist. Everyone is connected. So the difference you will make here will make a difference possibly everywhere, and perhaps that's something that you will learn from going abroad for a long time, that perhaps we are all the same at the end, and perhaps what we think is a closed moral system should be open moral system.